What's up guys, it's Isaiah from Games, and this is episode 17 part 2. Yeah, I just had to eat some food. I was freaking hungry. So, I'm all good now though. So, I'm just gonna continue what I had shown on my little sketch pad here. And I'm going to take a picture of it with my iPad and then email it to myself, and that'll actually kind of show you my process I do for some of this. And then once I get that in, I'll kind of clean up the sketches. I just need to find my iPad somewhere. So this would work great if I had a newer iPhone, but I don't, because the newer iPhones have extremely good cameras. And I usually do this, I'll do it with, or if I need to get good photos, I'll take my wife's phone. She has the iPhone 6, and that takes great photos, but she's not here right now, she's at work, so I'm using my iPad. I have several pages I'm taking photos of. Trying to take pictures with an iPad is very unwieldy, it's so huge. Alright, so I'm just gonna email those to myself and then I'll put them in Photoshop. So I used to scan things, because that's kind of what a lot of people do, but cameras have just gotten kind of better and better and better, and the way my general workflow is I just don't need I don't need super high-res stuff, because I'm going to be redrawing it in Photoshop or tracing it or something. Alright, so now I can show you those drawings. So these are some NPCs I was working on. These are people that have been helping out, and I have names next to them, so ignore them. But people that have been helping out with the Patreon a lot. So I'm just gonna bring these into Photoshop and use them as reference. For the Horde? About well? New badges. Badges for what? Well, I mean, for WoW, obviously, but what do you mean? Yeah, that actually comes out on Friday. Kind of excited for it. It looks really good. Also excited that they may have the Legion patch soon, because I am in the Legion Alpha, and Legion's gonna be good. Horde is the coolest, but all my characters are Alliance. I have both. I have like 5 Alliance and 6 Horde, but my main characters are on Alliance. That's largely due to the terrible idea they had to make humans have the best PvP racial in-game. So every serious PvPer went human, which was just retarded. I don't understand how they even thought that was a good idea for racial. And then in Legion they fixed it, so now it's not the god trinket anymore. So now hopefully you'll see a bit more racial diversity in PvP again instead of everyone being human. Yeah, it was so stupid. I didn't even know that that's what they had done until I had made my Death Knight Worgen, because I like werewolves and stuff. Then I got him to 100 and everything, and then I started doing PvP seriously in arenas, and people were like, why are you not human? I was like, what? What are you talking about? And then I learned that they ruined all other races because humans have that racial. So then I paid the 20 bucks or whatever to re-roll it human. Yeah, but I used to play a lot of WoW too, like way back in the day. I played like 80 hours a week back when I was like fresh out of high school. But then as like my career picked up and all that stuff, it just kind of faded, and then, you know, now I just play like a normal 2 or 3 hours a day, if at all. So I hear that a lot of people are like, oh, I like binge played it too much, I don't want to get back into it. And at least from my experience, yeah, I did that too, but now, I don't know, I think just because I'm a little older, I just don't even care to play it that much. Oh yeah, they added that a long time ago. And yes, that's actually one of my issues I had with Classic, or Vanilla, was the rating was just too intense. Like, you just had to spend like 10 hours a day just trying to progress, and then you wouldn't even get anything. So yeah, the casual raid system is a huge addition. So it allows you to see content in the game without spending your whole life in the game just to see it. And that system is very well refined too, so the whole dungeon queuing system, the raid queuing system, everything. I just think WoW is a much better game, and it's much more casual friendly, which is good. But it also does not alienate the hardcore PvEers, because if you want to do the raids and be like the first in the world to get stuff, then you can still do that. I was watching some streams of that Nostromo or whatever, the classic WoW server that was up before it got taken down like last month or whatever, and it was just a reminder of me, or to me, of like how different WoW used to be, and how I'm actually happy a lot of things have changed. Yeah, it's easier to not have to burn so many hours into it just to play it and have fun. Another cool thing too is you can have, if you're on a PvP server, you can have your Alliance and Horde on the same server. As it used to be on PvP servers, you couldn't do that. You could only be one faction. Another huge thing is it doesn't matter what server you're on anymore. If you are on server A and you have friends on server B and C and D, you can still party and play and everything with them. You can do quests and dungeons, you can explore the world with them. You just invite them to a party and then it pulls them onto your server while you're in the party. And then when they leave party, they just go back to their server. It's all seamless. That was a huge addition from Cataclysm. So I have friends on like 4 different servers. And that would have been very nice way back in vanilla, because that's when I had a ridiculous amount of friends playing, and I had them on like 6 or 7 servers. It was always like, you know, oh, cool, you're Alliance, what server are you on? Oh, I'm not on that server. But now it's like, oh, it doesn't even matter what server you're on, just invite you to party and you're playing. Queue times are a lot shorter because they merged a lot of servers, or they have what's called like battle groups now, but also just general like server merging. So when you queue for looking for raid or looking for dungeon or whatever, or battlegrounds or arenas, it's not just people on your server. It's from like a set of 15 to 20 other servers, so your queue times are generally like, well, for dungeons it's usually slowest, but for raids it can be like 15 minutes. And then for PvP your queue's like 5 minutes. So if you haven't played it in forever, worth at least, like when Legion comes out, I think they'll probably have like a free 7 days or whatever. I'd recommend just like trying it. But like I said, we're all Alliance, so if you wanted to play with us, have to make an Alliance dog. Yes, I am. Sometimes I regret that, sometimes I don't. One thing that makes me kind of regret it is because our server is actually paired with Tichondrius, and Tichondrius is like the #1 world PvP server in the nation. Or, yeah, world PvP, as in like, you know, non-battlegrounds. So, because of that, you always have people from Tichondrius that are just roaming around ganking people. And that's just how Tichondrius has always been. And because we're paired with it, now we deal with it. But it's generally not too bad. But there's a lot of times where I'm just like, oh, I wish I was not on PvP server. Yep. So these are some patron donors. Erase. It's already done and done, but family members and others that have helped a lot with the patrons so far, donating a lot of money to supporting us every month. They're going in game. Yeah, I have one of each. My main is a Death Knight, so, and I love tanking on him with blood, and then Frost for DPS for PvP. This dog's really fat. had a bit of, I think I have every class except the shaman. I've played every class extensively except the mage. I remember that. This is one of the patron donors that's given a lot of money to the project. That's what all these are, and that's what the next set I'm doing is. Basically, the next 5 to 10 characters are gonna all be very high patron donors, giving a lot of money every month. So this is one of them. The NPC in the game. All their dogs, because they have a lot of dogs. There. Yeah, an NPC, you could go up and they'd have a couple lines of dialogue. So I'm only going to be streaming for about another 20 minutes. Yeah, it's such a small detail it might get lost though. I know what you're saying. You do have to buy them, but they're like ridiculously cheap, and they usually just come in a huge bundle now for like $5. Yeah, I like Poot's new colors too. They're all much more like Storm Zone-esque, browns and silvers and yellows. Oh, well, there you go. I also like that expansions aren't $60, they're only $40. Not to the puppies, but they are her puppies. As these characters are just homage to real life people, so they reference their real life selves in a way. Tears. Instead of sketching this third one, I'm going to throw some flat colors on this character, and then that'll be it for today. Song loops twice. There. Little puppies. Really fat one down at the bottom. Except that one got diabetes and now he's not fat anymore. It's a true story. My usual playlist. Might just be matching up with the art that I'm doing better today. This is stuff I listen to all the time while I work on Gaimoria. Alright, so I'm not going to get into coloring her entirely, I just wanted to get the flats in. That way they were there. And then I'll probably get into finish coloring her and then her tonight on my own. So on Wednesday, you guys will see these two colored. And you might see this guy redesigned because I don't like how he looks. He just looks like nothing to me. Then Wednesday I'll be picking up this one. I'll probably throw in my other scans that I did too. And then once I get this large chunk of like big patron donors in for NPCs, I am going to move on to demons. So that'll probably be by like next week, because Friday, I'm expecting it'll take Wednesday and Friday for me to get these NPC characters done. So, thanks for coming and watching, and I hope it didn't bother you guys too much that I broke this into 2 parts. But better that than me passing out in my chair. So, yeah, I'll see you guys Wednesday, 4 p.m. Hawaii, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. East Coast, and continue creating all these characters and creatures and NPCs. So, thanks for coming and watching. Toodles.